In the Indian subcontinent, founding fathers are holy cows. Be it Gandhi in India, Jinnah in Pakistan, or Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in Bangladesh till recently. Take Gandhi. His questionable sleeping habits, which he himself wrote about in My Experiments with Truth, or his message of nonviolence to Hindus in Noakhali in 1946 in the face of impending doom. There were massacre of Hindus in Noakhali in 1946 by marauding Muslim mobs. Gandhi continues to remain the father of the nation. He smiles at us from currency notes, and even in afterlife, he is the conscience keeper of the nation. Or Mr. Jinnah, for instance. Jinnah's love for pork, his love for alcohol, the fact that he married a much younger Parsi woman, all of these are brushed aside in Pakistan to keep him as the Quaid-e-Azam. The same status was accorded to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in Bangladesh. Mujib was the father of the nation in Bangladesh till August 5 this year. What happened in August 5? On August 5, as we know, his daughter, the longest serving Prime Minister of Bangladesh, had to flee her country in a military helicopter and come to India after a students' protest for quota reforms in government jobs turned into a one-point demand for her ouster. As soon as she fled to India, statues of her father Sheikh Mujib were attacked across Bangladesh. They were desecrated, pulled down. His in fact his the most famous address in Dhaka, Dhanmundi 32, which was the official residence of Sheikh Mujib. It was the place where he and most of his family were killed in 1975, and which became the Mujib Museum, the Mujib Memorial Museum. That was burned down. On his death anniversary this year, a raucous mob danced to Lungi Dance, a famous song from Bollywood, Shah Rukh Khan starrer Chennai Express. And all these were unthinkable in Bangladesh till recently, till Sheikh Hasina's ouster. Now, what happens when there is a Mujib-sized vacuum in Bangladesh? Mujib was, after all, the face of the 1971 War of Independence. The entire country rallied around him as East Pakistan wanted to break away from West Pakistan and become Bangladesh. Over regional autonomy, over culture, over the love for Bangla language. Now, what happens when you take Mujib out of the equation? Very interestingly, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who till recently was persona non grata in Bangladesh, because don't forget it was Pakistan, West Pakistan at that time, who sent its army to to sort of the protests that were taking place across Bangladesh for more autonomy, and unspeakable horrors were done to the East Pakistani people, the Bengali people, by the West Pakistani army. So this Jinnah, Quaid-e-Azam of Pakistan, has suddenly become a hot favorite among many intellectuals, public intellectuals, teachers, and even politicians in Bangladesh. Jinnah's death anniversary was commemorated in Dhaka very publicly this year, and there were several speakers, public intellectuals, professors, and many of them said that it's about time Bangladesh starts going back to its East Pakistani roots, starts going back to the glory of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Soon after, a very prominent professor of Dhaka University in a public speech said that Bangladesh, to counter India, should have its own nuclear program uh, with the aid of Pakistan, to, as I said, to counter India. These are all public proclamations. Even till August this year, beginning of August this year, when Sheikh Hasina fled her country, all of these were unthinkable. You could not talk about Jinnah. You could not openly praise Bangladesh, openly praise Pakistan inside Bangladesh, because, as I said, it's Bangladesh. East Pakistan became Bangladesh by breaking away from Pakistan. Now, an interesting nugget from history. We spoke about 1971. If we turn the clock back and go to 1946, Jinnah had asked for direct action. Now, when people asked what is direct action, Jinnah said, "Why don't you ask Nehru what is direct action?" So, what direct action became was that in August 1946, Muslim mobs took to the streets in violent attacks against Hindus. And Jinnah's man in Bengal at that time, undivided Bengal, was a gentleman called Suravardi. Now there are various accounts in history of what happened in those weeks in 1946. In fact, Heram, the film Heram, Kamla Hassan's Heram, also shows 1946 Calcutta riots, the Great Calcutta Killings, they are called. But Jinnah's man at that time, the premier of Bengal, undivided Bengal, was a gentleman called Suravardi. And who was a close aide of Suravardi? A gentleman called Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who later on, would become the founding father of Bangladesh. So now with Hasina gone and statues of Mujib having been pulled down, is Bangladesh turning the clock back in time? And will Jinnah rise again in Bangladesh, which was formerly East Pakistan?